What's going on, everyone? The Bad Habits, aka TBH here, and today I'm here to review Saw X. Okay, yes. Now I know this came out a few months back in 2023, but I just now got around to this one, so bear with me here. Full disclosure here, I own every Saw film, and that includes Jigsaw and Spiral. I have them in this 9-film collection over here. Saw X is actually something different, at least compared to most of the films. This is in no way anything like Saw 7, the final chapter. Yeah, never name your film the final anything, because we know you're coming back. There's a few in there that are actually really good. Now, I dare to say, most of them suffer from the same issues: the editing, the flashbacks, the cheapness of it all, and it's just a gore fest. A lot of them suffer from that, but there's a few in there that are actually about something. Yes, I know that's really stupid to say because it's a film, and obviously they're about something, but only a few of them has something to say. And the question is Saw X a worthy return, or should they have stayed dead? The answer is
one way or another, it's all going to work out according to plan.
okay. Full on, this series' timeline, so goddamn confusing. This is more convoluted than Fast and the Furious and the X-Men series combined, frankly. You could throw in Transformers as well. It's just a goddamn nightmare. I don't know what to tell you. Trying to keep up with what order each film is in, such a goddamn nightmare. So, luckily, that was alleviated with this film right here. Luckily for us, Saw X is kind of self-contained. There's a lot of references to the first film. Amanda, who's a significant character in this series, she's in it as well. But generally speaking, if you hadn't seen the first Saw film, you don't need to see it before this one. I gotta be honest with you. Like I said, relatively self-contained. Now, with this being a prequel, Tobin Bell, spoiler alert, he is dead really early on in this series. Of course, he comes back for a voice role or, whatever. But generally speaking, John has been dead for a long time, at least in this series. So it's really nice to see Tobin Bell back. Really just nailing this character. I gotta say, this is probably my favorite portrayal of his John Kramer. Big fan of the character. I don't sympathize necessarily with him, needless to say. But no, this is a really good portrayal, and it's nice to see him really act. He looks emaciated in this film, I gotta say. Really putting his all into the character. Off the rip, let me say, I never thought I would feel sympathy for Team Jigsaw. I gotta say, this one kind of brought me over just a little bit. Don't call the cops on me just yet. I don't have a trap house or nothing like that. But I slightly understand his point of view. It's a real Killmonger situation. But yeah, there's one point, obviously this is full spoilers, but, toward the end of the film, John's talking to Amanda, and, he simply bluntly says, I'm dying. I am dying. He's trying to get her ready to be his successor. So, it's just like parents do with their kids. They try to prepare you for the world before they expire, and then, down the line we go. But in all honesty, I think it's more or less I relate it to the actor, not the character. This really could be, his last time as Jigsaw. At least I thought so when I was making my notes here. Turns out there's a planned sequel for this year later on. So, we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It felt really personal, and shit like that is what gets the Bad Habits in his feels. No, fuck that. For all of you who don't know, my name is Henry. Okay? So, that right there, honestly, that hit home for Henry. Not Habits. Henry. That really did. So, yeah, it worked. With Saw X, I gotta say, they really have matured a lot since the early days. Let's just say that. The editing has really chilled out a little bit. You can really see what's going on. It's still gross. I will say, it's might be a lie. I might be wrong on this, but it might be the tamest Saw movie. And like I said, still gross and gory. Don't get it twisted here, but yeah, no. Yeah. For those of you who like practical effects, it's still really cool and still convincing, still gross. It's like a movie you want to take a shower afterwards. Since this is a prequel to most of the other movies, it's a direct sequel to the first one. This is really early on in John's cancer days. When you see him, you could see why he falls for this sales pitch. For those who don't know, the main issue is John goes down to Mexico to get a experimental cancer removal surgery, and it turns out to be a hoax. The people were just scamming him, and it's all about the money. So with that being said, this is one of the first Saw films I could think of, at least. I definitely need to rewatch them all, because yeah. But this is probably the first one where I'm actually really siding with Team Jigsaw here. Not only did they do this to John, which big fucking mistake, but 34 other people. So yeah, no, these people got it coming. They don't deserve torture and death, but they deserve some punishment, I will say. I'm not a death penalty guy in any fashion, so but some jail time would be nice. Maybe hand them over to the local authorities. Not to be that guy, but if it's in Mexico, that's enough punishment. Prison in Mexico, yeah, that'll do it. You don't need to do anything to them, John. You don't. Let's get into some specifics here. So with John going down to Mexico for his experimental surgery, they're very secretive about it. So much so that they basically kidnap you to make sure you're you. I'm not really the guy who's gonna go down in every detail of a movie. That's not my thing. It's typically for people who have seen it or just don't give a fuck. I'm not really the best at giving context. I do apologize for that, but I will try my best to explain it here. So John is in a cab in Mexico. They pull a right and a left, a right and another right on some Kendrick Lamar shit. No. Whenever you go down back roads, I get a little sketched out. And that's not a specific area thing. That's anywhere. You take me to fucking Oslo, Mexico, whatever, Idaho. I don't give a fuck. Just, yeah, no. But, yeah, a van comes out of nowhere and then, they're fucking pointing guns at them. Identify yourself. If that's step 2, because step 1 is go to Mexico. If that's step 2, your boy, Henry, the bad habits here, he ain't getting that surgery. It ain't happening. But no, John is, he's dancing with death, so, he's kind of chill. Very complacent, as you should be when someone has a gun in front of you, but it just threw me off a little bit. Saw has really matured, I was about 20-something minutes in, and I took a note here about how I really was enjoying the setup so far. I'm kind of worried about when this movie shifts into a Saw movie. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but it is what it is, okay? I was really appreciating the drama. It turns out to be less funny version of 50-50, which I wish I pulled out from the stash. That's a good one. We're going to do that one day. And if you saw the trailer like I did, I was all over that shit. I was so mad I didn't see it in theaters. But if you saw the trailer, they put the original twist in the trailer. So, they let it be known early on that this is a scam and these are shitty people. I really appreciate that. However, I wish I'd gone in blind because that would have been really fun. Maybe, they could have left that part out. Luckily for us, who was spoiled, there's a shitload of other twists.
One way or another, it's all gonna work out according to plan.
Time for a con here. I wasn't a big fan of how they reintroduced Amanda's character. Gotta be honest with you. She's not a member of the Suicide Squad. Just, drop her in and we'll move on.
Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
But nonetheless, Amanda is really fun in this one. Probably the most fun she's ever been. Trying to think of the most notable appearance I could think of is probably like Saw 3 when she dies. In that one, she plays spiteful underling. In this one, she's a bit more of a character. She's having a lot more, as I said, fun with it. And it's just unsettling. And even though Team Jigsaw is full of psychos, there are times when I side with Team Jigsaw. They are horrible people who know it. They're fully aware that they are trying to do noble things by doing horrible things. Yeah, that line gets blurry really fast. As soon as I try to sympathize, I just... Yup. Yeah. Team Jigsaw. Where was I going with that? I guess I was trying to say that when the real twist of the story near the end is revealed, yeah, you get where they're coming from. You really do. I'm like, shit, kill these motherfuckers. I'm with Amanda. Not even John, who's like, let's test them. Shit, I'm with Amanda. Let's just pop, done. So, I can't really go much further without really getting into some spoilers. So, deep spoilers, like the crux of the story spoilers coming up. Cecilia, the main bad guy, if you will. Dr. Cecilia Peterson, if I'm not mistaken.
Cecilia Peterson.
She is, holy shit, I don't know. She should have been an apprentice, okay? I'm sorry. I know she's horrible. She's horrible. Evil, so to speak. But, man, I was having so much fun with her heel turn. I gotta say, yeah. No. I was having a great fucking time. She's mocking John several times over. But more than that, bigger than that, she's mocking the series, which... it's been overdue. It's 20 years old at this point. Let's not be so self-serious and understand what the fuck this is. So, yeah, I really appreciate shit like that. Keep, taking little digs. And there's a lot of shitty movies in this series. Let's be real, yo. Come on now. Cecilia, early on during the, I believe the first victim is Victoria, if I'm not mistaken. Who, by the way, I didn't even mention, when she is kidnapped for her trap, she kind of gets saved in a way. I'm not going to spoil the reason behind it, but I've never been more excited to be kidnapped than, if I was her in the position she was in. So, yeah, it's a weird one. But with her, she fucking dies. Cecilia uses her goddamn intestines as a rope. As soon as that happened, I should have known that there's going to be way more to this character. She's about that goddamn life. Yeah. I'm looking forward to see where she ends up in this next film because, yeah, she lives at the end. She really does make it out. She's caught up in this room filled with poison with her lover person guy. What's his name? Paris Sears or some shit like that. Maybe it's Parker. Maybe it's Parker.
Parker Sears.
Either way, There's one point at the end where her and him are locked in a room that's filling up with poison. And there's this little cutout for their head so they can breathe oxygen. That didn't really work for me. I gotta be honest with you. As humans, I'm sure you're aware, we have a bunch of holes in our body. Some in the lower bottom half.
Big hole. How many holes do you have? I'm sorry, is that a personal question? I don't have any holes.
I don't know how I feel about the rest of her body being in the poison-filled room while her head is scot-free. You know, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know shit about shit, but I feel like her rest of her body's probably wasting away. You know, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Feel free to tell me. But what else? She lives. She lives to see probably Saw 11, most likely. We'll see in a few months. Another con, there's this character named Mateo who's featured in a bunch of advertisements for it because it has that really cool shot of Billy the Puppet on the bike. Insert that here. Mateo, this guy in this situation right here that's on screen, you see what I'm looking at. This guy needs to be reassured to do the goddamn test. Now, when I say that, I'm basically saying that he needs other people to motivate him to do the task John needs him to do in order to pass the test. Bullshit on that one. There's a fucking body right there. Do it. No questions. Do it. Or die, I guess. But no. A big pro, I forgot to mention earlier, actually, was all these traps in this like warehouse area. That was the makeshift hospital. So it's very poetic that Jigsaw sets up shop in the very, room that he was supposed to get this life-changing procedure in. It's very cool, and I love that he turned it into a trap house.
I'ma let him spin like a spiral. I don't got no love for no rival.
One thing I won't go into very much into detail is there's a little kid named Carlos that's introduced early on, and he comes back at the end for whatever reason. But him and John have some really great moments, really great setup. It's forced and obvious as soon as it happened early on. I, had an idea that, well, this will be coming back. They put it in your face. No reason to be a dick there on this one. Carlos and John are put into a trap, whatever, and they have to endure, basically. They have to outsmart it and work together. I thought that was a really fun moment. We don't get that in the series. I believe in the second one, Jigsaw got beat up by Mark Wahlberg's brother, Detective Blankety Blank. I don't remember. But, this was actually a really nice twist on that. To put him in and have them outsmart it. That's cool. It worked for me. But close your goddamn mouth, okay? You see this shit.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
One way or another, it's all gonna work out according to plan.
And possibly my biggest con, if I'm being honest with you, is they still have to explain the final twist via flashback. Now, luckily, it's just flashbacks of this film, so you don't have to worry about Saw 2 and 4 and somehow how 7 fits into the mix. You don't have to worry about that. It's just flashbacks from this film, but they still can't get past explaining the twist via flashback. They have yet to get past that, so that would be nice to see in Saw 11. And looks like my final pro here is I didn't set this up at all, but John gets referred to this medical procedure and facility. He gets referred to it by Black Mansa's dad. He plays a character named Henry. But they ended up torturing him, testing him in the original bathroom from from Saw 1. Okay, yeah, they go back to the OG bathroom, and then you get a little cameo from Detective Mark Hoffman. It was nice to see him. It's very short and sweet cameo. Blink and you'll miss it sort of deal. But it was nice to see him back, and I hope they actually do something with him in the next one. I hope that was a setup because I like his character. It's not a lot to him, not very complex like John or even Amanda, but I really enjoyed that character. He shouldn't have been the series lead for like half the movies, but yeah. No. And no mention at all of Logan, the doctor from Jigsaw. So very interesting to see where this could go. I don't know. Like I said, the series timeline is all kinds of fucked up. But here we are. And this year, I'm going to review Saw 11 when it comes out. So be prepared for all you Saw fans out there. It says here, the most successful horror franchise in movie history, now in one collection. Lying ass bitch. The fuck is this shit? This is 9 films. Here's a 10th one. Motherfuckers lied, bro. No, in all seriousness, though, not a big fan, even though I have all the films, and in some cases, multiple copies. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Saw can be smart when it wants to, and they can shit out a decent film. Saw X is a decent film. So much so that I'm going to give it a rating of either a really low, add it to the collection, or a really high, stream it. So I'm really kind of torn between those two levels. They're neck and neck. So either way, it's a positive rating overall. And without rewatching all 9 other films, I'm going to say Saw X is probably the best one.
Oh, you stink!
I don't know. Later on this year, I'll be doing a Saw 20th anniversary release. So stay tuned for that. And of course, Saw 11, as I mentioned. So yeah. Very exciting time. There's so many things planned for Halloween or October specifically. It's going to be a really busy spooky season this year. So stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please leave a like, leave a comment. What's your favorite film? Did you see Saw X? Did you see any of them? Let me know down there. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and join the community. Thank you so much. I'm the Bad Habits, aka TBH, aka Henry, and I'm signing out. Deuces.